Remember when games looked like this? Yeah, me too. By this point, I thought there'd be nothing more realistic than this, that this is the best games could look. And then boom, another reveal trailer. I'd spend each year losing my mind over the latest showcase and best computer graphics, only to have the next year completely change the game. And of course, I wanted to play them all, but I only had this. Welcome to a whole new world of computer graphics. These games ditch the hyperrealism and focus on a simple, well-crafted player experience. They're often developed by much smaller teams on a much broader scale, pitching something completely unfound in their hyperrealistic siblings. Donut County, Pyramida, Minecraft, and Untitled Goose Game fall into this category. When I finally grew my PC setup to the point where I would finally be able to ditch games like this, I found that I love these games. I have no problem switching between games like Red Dead straight to whatever this is, and I appreciate both these games the same. I can appreciate the nuance and time and effort that went into producing the masterpiece that is Red Dead Redemption 2, while also finding happiness in the simple joy of honking at this guy. With life being so complicated, sometimes people just want a relaxing place to call their own, with only a few buttons to worry about. Sometimes you want to marvel in how realistic games have become and the effort and technology that it took to get there. It's certainly impressive that I can have the full-scale, fully modeled, realistic world on something that doesn't catch fire at the mere thought of it. Graphics have come so incredibly far, and it's likely not to stop here. The ability for game designers to create a completely believable, photorealistic, living and breathing world is something we are incredibly lucky to witness the development of. Each year, devs push the barrier of what it means to create something truly special. The releases of new hardware have given game designers a brand new set of tools to work with, if you could actually get your hands on one without paying 2 times the price, but I worry that the labels of next-gen 4K, 8K, 16K, 1200 FPS per frame at launch is stifling the true progression of what it means to be next-gen. Game progression is more of a curve. They go from this to this to this, and every generation is not an actual generational leap, but more of a slight improvement, as game designers can often run the next-gen games on last-gen hardware. It's like getting a brand new toolbox but just needing a screwdriver at the time. Game developers take some time to utilize the tools they're given, but when they do, it's something else. Games are an art. While often not talked about as one, it's hard to deny the amount of artistic creativity that goes into one game. Combining graphics with accessibility on a flat screen is incredibly impressive. The art style is a really important factor in video game graphics. While ray tracing is nice, no one really cares if your game is not actually appealing to look at. The rise in extremely powerful graphics have also pushed game designers to define what graphics even mean. Devs are treating games as an art piece, usually opting for a unique graphical experience instead of a hyper-realistic one. Games like Superliminal, Return of the Obra Dinn, and Inside have prioritized a unique visual style for a standout factor of their games. Let's talk about Cyberpunk 2077. Cd Projekt Red's insanely anticipated game was in development for 7 years. Each reveal and trailer was incredibly well produced, and the game looked to be a huge splash into the gaming scene. All the details of the city and story were crafted to perfection, not to mention the crazy graphical fidelity. But this is what Cd Projekt got wrong.
At Cd Projekt Red, we dedicate ourselves to telling immersive stories. Yet with every new project, we set out to make our games bigger, more complex, deeply engaging.
So that was a fucking lie.
Cd Projekt released an unfinished game, a complete buggy mess, not the immersive experience they promised all their players. They released a game with a story that was incomplete, characters that I did not feel anything towards, and dialogue that felt straight out of Oblivion.
Lady Umbernox has hired a new captain. Lady Umbernox has hired a new captain of the guard.
I played Cyberpunk on launch day, and while my expectations were not as high as some people I'd seen on Twitter, there were dozens of times I was completely removed from the game due to some bug. Despite all this, I played the shit out of Cyberpunk and mostly enjoyed it, but not because of what I was promised. I had a lot more fun laughing at all the insane glitches than actually feeling immersed into the game. And when I had finished the story, I just deleted it. Releasing an unfinished game isn't unique to Cyberpunk. Plenty of recent games have come out completely unfinished with full pre-orders and enough promotion to make it burned into your retinas. It doesn't have to be like this. Oftentimes, small developers are raising the bar more than AAA studios when it comes to delivering for the people who buy their games. AAA studios have proven capable to make great games. Some of the best games of the last 10 years have been from AAA, but more and more we see indie dominating the gaming scene because they're not afraid to deliver on what people actually want. As much as I want insane next-generation graphics, they cannot be the reason why the rest of the game is lacking in quality. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an incredibly good example of this, a AAA game from a AAA studio that plays as good as it looks. This is what I want to see more of, not some shitty loot crates or failed promises, but genuine progression and utilization of the tools that are available. Games should be a showcase of how far technology has come, not hindered by it. Video games have been a huge part of my life, and seeing the progression in technology inspire creativity in games is so amazing to be a part of. I try to make these videos whenever I can. They take a long time, and YouTube doesn't promote content like this very well. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It's completely free, and you can always change your mind later. A simple like and subscription genuinely means the world to me. If you'd like to see more of my stuff, you can follow me on Twitter and check me out on Twitch. I'm live most nights, so you can feel free to stop by. Links will be in the description. See you next time.